Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. You are now listening to Hard Talk with Jason Hardin, the podcast that brings you the cold, hard truth about finding success in today's society. Allow me to introduce your host, publisher, producer, entrepreneur, and community activist, Jason Hardin.
Good day, everybody. I am Jason Hardin, your host, and today we have a very serious topic, and that is success in mental health. I know what you guys are thinking. Success usually doesn't belong in the same sentence as mental health, but you guys would be surprised how many successful people have mental health issues. And anybody can have mental health issues. Money does not protect you from mental health issues. So know that, get that straight. So don't be ashamed. Like I said, a lot of people think when you talk mental health, there's a stigma, and that's not cool. When we talk about mental health, it's actually talking about health. It's almost like talking about exercising. Nobody gets ashamed when we're talking about exercising. Nobody feels ashamed when we're talking about dieting, really. Nobody gets ashamed when we're talking about working out. But people get really ashamed. Some folks get really ashamed when we talk about mental health. And I don't know why. Because we all have minds, just like we all have bodies, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes those minds and bodies go through stuff. And sometimes it takes a moment to repair itself, you know what I'm saying? And to come back, to be resilient to whatever it just went through. And the interesting about the body is going to naturally heal itself. If you still have an immune system, your body's gonna heal itself. But the crazy thing about the mind, it doesn't just heal itself automatically. You have to do it. And that's why we're talking about it today, because there's a lot of successful people that have mental health issues, that suffer from depression, that suffer from some type of mental health issue and just can't let it go, or just can't live a normal and happy life, regardless of how much money they have, regardless of how productive they are, regardless of how much nothing looks wrong with them. It still can be a dangerous thing if that mental health issue does not get addressed. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is some health risks of success. And people are like, what? What kind of health risk can come with being successful? And to be honest, many. And I guess one that would probably be at the top of the list is stress. Stress. Successful people can deal with a lot of stress. And successful people can deal with a lot of stress successfully, but there's a limit. Everybody has a breaking point. And some people don't even know if they passed their breaking point. They keep working, they're so busy, they're so productive, they're so much a go-getter that they don't realize that they're unhealthy anymore. You know what I'm saying? They might not realize that they're mentally in a place that isn't healthy. And that can cause a lot of problems. Stress can cause a lot of problems. And stress can come from a lot of things when you're an entrepreneur. One thing about being an entrepreneur, everything is pressure to a certain degree. We keep pressure on ourselves. As a successful person, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a corporate executive, there's a lot of pressure almost at all times. And if there's no pressure, you create pressure because you're trying to make yourself better, you're trying to make a bigger move, you're trying to do some mega shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a lot of pressure. So sometimes that stress can come from the pressure. You know, and the crazy thing about a successful entrepreneur is that we keep ourselves under pressure. So we keep ourselves under stress. And sometimes, like I say, we pass that breaking point and don't know it. And you wonder, like, what's the worst part of stress? And people don't realize the worst part of stress is all the health issues that come with it. See, stress itself alone isn't a bad thing. It is just pressure. Alone, it's not a harmful thing. If you can overcome it, if you can work through it, it actually is no problem at all. But stress in long terms, in concentrated areas, can definitely cause health issues, real health issues, heart problems, digestive problems, sleeping problems, circulatory problems. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something to go untreated. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that a lot of people think that you can't talk about it. If you're in pain, if you're having trouble, it's sad to think when you're successful that you can't talk about it. And I want you to know, if you are successful, you can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I know that some people are so strong, they don't want to look weak in front of anybody. And I get it. You know, I have a brand too. I have a brand that represents my strength, my resilience, my ability to come back from any BS I went through. But that keeps me also from not talking to a lot of people about my problems. But you have to pick those few people you trust to talk to. So yeah, stress is one of them. And one thing about stress, it can lead to depression. And that's another thing I want to talk to, a major one when it comes to health issues with successful entrepreneurs, is depression. And some of you might be wondering, like, you got all this money in the world, or you got all the opportunities in the world, or you have all the influence in the world, or you have all the toys, houses, cars, women in the world. Why are you depressed? And it's different things for different people. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised what makes successful people depressed. Sometimes it's being away from their family for long periods of time. Sometimes it's their dedication to their career that kept them from having a family. And they might be getting older, and they might be missing some of the things that they think they missed out on while chasing their success. Man, that could make you depressed. And sometimes it's love. Oh my God, people don't realize that it does get harder to find true love the more successful you are. Perfect example. Okay, when you broke and you really don't know a lot and you really ain't got shit going on, if a motherfucker loves you, they most likely genuinely love you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody really trying to fake love a person that ain't got shit, to be honest with you. So if you ain't got shit and you ain't shit and somebody love your ass, man, hold on tight, because that motherfucker really love you. Respect and love that person back. But when you're wealthy, or at least comfortable, or influential, or somebody that has a certain amount of pull in the community, or a certain amount of favor, or a certain amount of recognition, or a certain amount of power, it's different looking for love. Because now, everybody that loves you doesn't always love you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in your face trying to get your attention. Everybody trying to spend time with you. Everybody smiling. Everybody giving you stuff. Not all of that is love when you have a lot of shit going on. You know, you're more at risk to attract people that don't give a fuck about you when you have wealth and when you have status and when you have power. You're most likely going to attract a lot of people that just want some of that back, or want some of that from you, or wants attention from you, or wants some of that recognition or power or influence you have to transfer to them because they're with you. You know what I'm saying? It's almost impossible to know what everybody wants from you when you have something. So looking for love when you have wealth and when you have things established can be very hard. It can be very depressing. I mean, there's few things that are more depressing than somebody having all the money and resources in the world, but nobody to love them, nobody to share it with, or don't trust anybody enough to open up to them, to be themselves with. They might have somebody they really, really love and somebody that really loves them in their life, but they can't open up too much because they're still leery on what this person might want, or they can't trust them enough because they're not sure if they're really there genuinely. You know what I'm saying? So love, when you're success, can cause a lot of depression and a lot of stress too. You know, so you never know what might make somebody depressed. Regardless of what they have money or not, you have to consider that everybody's human. So if you're one of those folks, man, just know that it's natural. If you're one of them people who got everything together, got your business, got your finances straight, got everything tight, and you got income coming in, and you got a beautiful home, and you're just unhappy, think about that. Why? You know what I'm saying? Explore that. Don't shun it. Don't be like, well, I should be happy, I'm gonna keep pushing. No. Ask yourself, why am I unhappy? You know what I'm saying? Take a moment. Stop. And that's another thing. Some people that are go-getters, some people that are entrepreneurs, they don't know how to stop sometimes. They don't know how to stop, rest, absorb what's happening, look at a scenario, or at least slow down. See, that's when it's a characteristic that works in our favor, but it also can be a characteristic that hinders our thought process and our emotion. And I'm telling you one thing, many successful entrepreneurs undervalue emotions. You know, we're taught you can't be emotional. Do not make judgments off emotions. Do not make decisions when you're emotional. Do not do this and this and that when you're emotional. So to a certain degree, we have to cut them off. But then when it's time to feel them, we don't know how to cut them on. So that can cause a lot of stress. That can cause a lot of depression. Isolation. You know what I'm saying? That's another cause of some of mental health issues among successful people, because we have to isolate ourselves sometimes. We work so hard, we can't even get what we got done and hang out with somebody sometimes. We can't even get what we got done and socialize with family, friends, loved ones, children. Because we put so much pressure on ourselves, because our love for them is usually translated through our work. We show our love by how hard we work for the people we care about. And sometimes that keeps us from the people we care about. So balance is always important. You know? So definitely got to watch the isolation. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then like other reasons why successful people might become isolated is because they have too much success. They have so much fame, so much money, so much recognition that they can't go out to regular places and be regular people without a stressful situation presenting itself, without mobs of people, without people trying to scam them, people trying to sue them, people trying to date them and take from them. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of things to watch out for the more you have. So a lot of people who have so much wealth, so much influence, so much power, and so much recognition become so alone and so isolated. Because now it don't matter how much toys you got. If you're sitting in a beautiful house on a hill, mansion toys and all that, and there's nobody to enjoy it with you, or you don't meet new people, all you have is your family, you're not meeting new friends or whatever, and there's really no necessary reason to work, and you just become retired and alone, that causes mental health issues. You know, so you got to watch out for isolation. Nutrition causes physical issues, but it also causes mental health issues, because you're not eating right. You know, you got a lot of people working so hard, they just forget meals. You know, you got people working so hard that they get grab and go stuff. They eat whatever they can and don't have a healthy diet. You know what I'm saying? When you're young, it might not affect you as much, but as you get older, it starts taking a toll on you. And that stuff will start taking a toll on your mind. You know what I'm saying? So nutrition is something you gotta watch out for. Poor nutrition can lead to a lot of mental health problems when you're successful. So there's, like I said, when you're successful, you can't escape regular stuff. And these are all regular things that people can address, whether they got money or not. But sometimes success will get in the way of you addressing an issue. Just because you're successful, because like you might feel that, okay, I got all this, I got all that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm working hard, I'm taking care of my family, I'm doing everything right. But because you're saying like this, man, what am I doing wrong? You already know you're having a mental health issue. So sometimes you just gotta stop, look at what's going on, and just, you know, take a moment to dissect what's happening. You know, and try to figure it out. Instead of trying to figure out how to make more money, sometimes you just have to figure out how to make yourself happy. Figure out what's missing in your life. Because some people make so much money and create so much resources and wealth, they don't think they're missing anything. But then you look over, you're alone. Ain't nobody there next to you. Or you look down and there's no kids. You know what I'm saying? Or you look over and there's no family. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at what you're missing sometimes. Or maybe you're just missing some experience. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you work so hard, you never played baseball. Or you never got to go swimming with your friends, or you never got to go to Vegas to hang out and play with your homeboys and your homegirls and kick it and just enjoy yourself because you've always been working so hard. So sometimes you just got to look at that. You got to look at that. Another thing, rest deprived. Some people just don't get rest. Some successful people just do not rest enough. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Sleep deprivation is a torture. That's an actual torture technique in some places. In many places, still used to this day, sleep deprivation is a torture. And so we have some folks that are successful go-getters that are torturing themselves by staying up 2, 3, 4 days at a time. I know folks personally throughout my experiences in life who resort to drugs because they're so successful, they're so under pressure, their jobs are so demanding, their careers or whatever is so demanding that they are forced to stay up for days at a time. That's why meth is such a popular drug amongst go-getters and engineers and some folks who got to start, some folks who just work on projects for days at a time or nights at a time. And I know a lot of folks like that. They use meth as a fucking tool. Now, if you don't think that's a mental issue or a mental health issue, then you're tripping. But like I'm saying, man, get your rest. That's so important. Rest is so important. And I know, man, sometimes we can miss a couple hours sleep, a couple nights sleep and go, but we can't make that a normal thing. I don't care how rich, how wealthy you are, how much you need, how much you want, man, rest. Take the time to rest. Now, the last mental health issue, I think probably the most extreme mental health issue, or at least result of a mental health issue that I'd like to touch bases on, that's so, I guess, I don't even know if it's I want to say it's bad, but it's also so, it's kind of hard to understand for regular folks or average folks who don't have the experience or have went through experience with some of these successful people. But what I meant to say was suicide. Suicide. You don't get how many successful people who commit suicide. You know, I mean, we look at folks like a good one. Oh my, what's the recent film? Was a docu-series that came out with who's the guy that Don Cornelius, the host of Soul Train, a pioneer, a successful entrepreneur, created his own show, had nothing but black cast and black artists for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of great things. He wasn't a rock star who just partied and, couldn't take it and killed himself. He was a smart man. And he shot himself. It's almost to the point when a celebrity kills themselves, you almost don't believe it. You almost be like Robin Williams. Oh my God, Robin Williams. The person you would have thought might have been the happiest man in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's always smiling, he's always so giddy and always so energetic, and his characters are always so full of life and full of love. But killed himself. Hung himself. That's the story. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's hard to believe these people do that. It's hard to believe that rich and famous, successful people would kill themselves or take their own life. So I personally think that he was robbed and it was a setup, but you know what? It could be that he was just depressed. You know what I'm saying? So you can't write off these issues because somebody's successful or somebody has it or somebody, might not have the problems that you have. You can't write off their problems because they're not yours. You know what I'm saying? You can't think that somebody, just because they have this, and this, and that they're okay. And even if you're that somebody, if you got money, if you're the one that's wealthy, if you're the entrepreneur, if you're the go-getter, you cannot write off your own mental health issues. Just because you got the physical things you need in life, you might not have the emotional or mental things you need in life. And sometimes you have to just sit back and assess that. Ask yourself, am I where I want to be? Is it time for something different? Is something missing? And and that's when we're gonna get to solutions. Because one solution that stands out in my mind, especially in regards to stress, it's you gotta establish healthy habits. I know you're thinking like, man, if you're rich, man, you don't have any unhealthy habits, and man, that's the hardest thing to do. You gotta establish healthy habits. Whether it be a morning routine, whether it be eating healthier, whether it be working out regularly, whether it be healthy habits such as calling your family every now and then, calling your loved ones, checking in. You know what I'm saying? Spending time with your children. And I mean habits, not just one time, man. We kicked it last year. No, I don't mean that. I mean regularly. I don't care how rich you are, man. Ask your child how their day was at school. You know what I'm saying? Ask your wife, how was your day at work? You know what I'm saying? Stop every now and then and absorb what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we just get so busy, we're only on our own world, and we're doing and we're doing and we're doing, and we're really not worried about what everybody else is doing because we don't see that they're doing what we're doing and we're making all the money. You know what I'm saying? So you might not worry about your kid at school because he's not making money, he's not taking care of this, he's not even paying for his private school, you're paying for it. So you don't ask him what's going on. But in the end, that's what you should be doing. You know, because just because he's not paying or he doesn't have anything going on financially to contribute to a family or a household, he has information, he has love, he has attention, he has things going on that might fulfill you as a father or a parent. You know, helping your child, you know what I'm saying? Creating that relationship, creating that bond. That's valuable stuff. That's valuable time and quality experiences. And that's some things that keep you grounded in life. You know, so take time, talk to your family. You know what I'm saying? Create those healthy habits. You know what I'm saying? Periodically call your mama. You know what I'm saying? Call your pop. Whatever it is, man, create those little healthy habits. And as you create those healthy habits, you start eliminating forms of stress. You know what I'm saying? Every 2 weeks I'm taking a break, or every other whatever, I'm not gonna go to an intense meeting or whatever it is. I don't even know. But what I'm saying is, it's balance. Find balance. You know what I'm saying? Don't bombard yourself with all this work and all this ambition and forget how to live life, or forget to live life anyway. Just forget to live, period. Because whether you're working for yourself or you're working for a company, work is still work. You know what I'm saying? And actually, you work harder for yourself. So you'll find more stress working for yourself, even though you find more rewards and more fulfillment. You get into a lot more stress working for yourself at times. The rewards make it worth it and outweigh it, but if you can't battle that stress in those critical times, cause real serious mental health issues that can lead to physical health issues and even suicide, unfortunately. Another great solution. Number 2. 1 is establish healthy habits. You know, keep and establish healthy habits. 2, talk to somebody. Man, talk to somebody. Please talk to somebody. Call in. You know what I'm saying? Text somebody. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you could 636 Dina Mag. That's the phone number here. It ain't gonna go live yet, but if you need to call somebody, call me. Shit. Man, I would rather you call me and I don't know you and I get to know you, or you talk to me for a second, I'll send you a message. I'd rather you reach out than you just not be happy or healthy or be in a dark place forever. Because I might not be able to reach you, but I might refer you to somebody that can. I might refer somebody to you that can help you. But basically, the point is, talk to somebody. Reach out. Talk to your mama, your daddy. Talk to your wife. Talk to your kids. My God, you probably don't realize how great listeners kids are. Children are amazing listeners. Amazing listeners. And they give you the most honest answers. Honest answers. And usually without judging you. So people underestimate how healthy talking to children is. I talk to children all the time. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I ask them how their day was. I tell them how my day was. And I look at them when I'm talking to them. I might be working. I might be on the computer. I might have a camera going. I might have microphones on. But when my nieces and nephews come to talk to me, when they say, Uncle Jason, guess what? I turn shit off and I face them. And I say, what is it? And you know, it's therapeutic to me. And Lord knows what it means to them. But you'd be surprised how much you got out when you talk to somebody, how much pressure you relieve. And therapists, you know, see a therapist. Do not think going to a counselor or a psychologist or a therapist makes you crazy. Don't think that means you got mental problems, you know, and you might have mental problems, but you're not crazy. A lot of people associate mental health and mental problems with crazy. When you say problem, then problem is a negative word. Health is a positive word. So you get further with people saying mental health than you will saying mental problem. Believe me. Because I don't know a person who has a mental health issue that'll admit to having a mental problem at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So talk to somebody. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a counselor. There's free counselors everywhere. There's affordable counselors everywhere. You know, there's people there's hotlines. Talk to somebody. Man, call a suicide hotline if you ain't got the money. And I'm just saying to anybody right now, not just successful people, this is important for everybody. Talk to someone. If you ain't got the money to talk to a counselor, call a suicide hotline and talk to them. Even if you're not about to commit suicide, man, if you're just in a dark place, call somebody. You don't have a friend, a care, a love in the world, or know anybody to talk to, call a fucking hotline and talk. Believe me, them people are not gonna hang up on you. You know what I'm saying? Them people are not gonna, they're not gonna do nothing but listen. That's their job. That's what they volunteer for. That's what they get paid to do. But what I'm saying is, you do not underestimate how valuable a conversation is. My God, man, wars end and start from conversations. You know what I'm saying? So, talk to somebody. Another thing, get rest, but don't oversleep. See, it's a sweet spot. There's a balance in there. It's cool to rest. Always get rest. You know what I'm saying? When you need to get rest, get it. But if you're sleeping all the time, that's a telltale sign of depression. And you wonder why is sleeping all the time? Because to me, and to a lot of studies, when you sleep for extended periods of time, when you're not tired, and your body will start to feel tired just because you're always going to sleep. So your body will fool you into thinking you're sleepy. But when you do that, it's because really you're trying to escape being awake. I know it doesn't make sense to some people, like, well, I'm going to escape. But that's what it is. A lot of people sleep to escape being awake. And I don't know what's sadder than that. Because all of us are going to be in an eternal sleep at some point. So you're going to get enough sleep at some point. So don't use this time that you have, this precious time that you have here. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste that. Don't waste that. Don't waste that in the bed by yourself, knocked out, when you're not even tired, or in the middle of the day when you know there's stuff you could be doing. You know what I'm saying? So watch that. Get your rest, but don't oversleep. Don't make that a habit. And another thing, probably the last thing, probably the most helpful solution that people can apply or practice while they're having issues or something is, if you're going through something, if there's a situation specifically or a lingering problem in your life, and you don't feel like talking about it, or you don't want to call anybody or anything like that, write about it. You know what I'm saying? Create content with it. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're rich and famous and powerful and you speak on the stuff or you create content about what you're going through, that's going to be a powerful message for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So turn it into something. Turn it into something. I don't care how tragic that was. Own that shit and use it. Flip it. Because I'll tell you one thing. If you can flip a tragedy, you won't be feeling depressed as much, or you won't have the same issues. Because why? You'll know that there's an escape from this. Because some people go through things and they think they're going to live through it. I mean, not even live through it. They think they're going to live the actual mistake. Like, it's never going to pass. But the truth is, it will pass as soon as you allow it to. But if you flip it to a positive, not only does it pass, but you turn that into something of value. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I don't want anybody to ignore their problem. That's not the solution to anything. Do not ignore your problem. Address it. And address it as fast as you can. And basically, that's all I have for you guys today. Because, man, I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed. I want you guys to address the issue. And at any point in time, while you're listening to any of my podcasts, as soon as you hear something that you want to apply, cut the podcast off and apply that shit. You can always come back and listen to the rest of it. But the feeling you get to do something now might go away. And I don't want to stop that. So at any time, you want to act on something you hear me say, act on that. Don't worry about what I'm going to say next. Don't worry about that next jewel I'm going to drop. Cash that jewel that you got in now. You feel me? I'm not going anywhere. I'm Jason Hardin. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Big shout out to Stephen Sneed with his new film, Pasadena, Exploring Solutions to Reduce Gang Violence, man. That causes a lot of issues in communities worldwide. So you wanna shed light on that. Elvira Guzman, she has another book that she's coming out with. So please pick up her book. Very inspirational stuff. Have you on a positive tip. She's a very successful entrepreneur, and so she can relate to a lot of these things. She's had struggles, she's had challenges, but she overcame them, and now she's a boss. And there's nothing I say more than life of a boss. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, check out those things, man. Love yourself, hug yourself, trust yourself, and do the best for yourself. Because like I said, you only got one you, and we need you. Love y'all. Peace.
If you found anything on today's show helpful, please subscribe and share what you learned. For more access to valuable information, services, and products, visit www.hardwayenterprise.com. Until next time, stay aware, stay inspired, and stay grinding.